Welcome back to our in-depth exploration of Mad Max Furiosa, the highly anticipated prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. This film dives deep into the origins of Imperator Furiosa, one of the most compelling and resilient characters in the Mad Max universe. Set decades after the apocalypse, Furiosa offers a gripping narrative that explores the brutal and unforgiving world of the wasteland and the events that shaped Furiosa into the warrior we know. This journey takes us through loss, survival, and the relentless pursuit of vengeance in a world where hope is as scarce as water. This film explores the backstory of Furiosa, shedding light on her tragic past and how she became the fierce warrior seen in Mad Max Fury Road. It offers fans a deeper understanding of her motivations and the trials that shaped her character. Directed by George Miller, the mastermind behind the Mad Max franchise, Furiosa continues his tradition of creating visually stunning, high-octane films. Miller's attention to detail and world-building is on full display, offering a richer view of the wasteland and its inhabitants. Anya Taylor-Joy takes on the role of a young Furiosa, capturing the character's evolution from a vulnerable child to a hardened survivor. Her portrayal promises to bring new dimensions to a character already beloved by fans. In true Mad Max fashion, the film relies heavily on practical effects and stunts, creating intense and realistic action sequences that push the boundaries of what is possible in filmmaking. Decades after the apocalypse, Australia has become a radioactive wasteland where survival is a constant struggle. The green place of many mothers, one of the last remaining havens with fresh water and agriculture, stands as a beacon of hope in this desolate world. Here, a young Furiosa and her friend Valkyrie live in relative peace, spending their days picking peaches and tending to the land. However, their fragile peace is shattered when a group of raiders discovers the green place. As the raiders approach, Furiosa, sensing the danger, tries to sabotage their motorcycles, hoping to delay their attack. Despite her efforts, the raiders capture her and present her as a prize to their leader, Dementus of the biker horde. Dementus, a warlord haunted by the death of his own family, sees potential in Furiosa and decides to keep her alive, hoping she will eventually lead him to the green place. Mary, Furiosa's mother, refuses to let her daughter be taken without a fight. She pursues the raiders to the Horde's camp and single-handedly kills all but one of them. This remaining raider, mortally wounded by Furiosa, manages to bring her to Dementus, but dies before revealing the location of the green place. Mary sneaks into the camp and rescues Furiosa, but Dementus tracks them down. In a desperate bid to save her daughter, Mary gives Furiosa a peach pit as a symbol of hope and insists she escape. However, Furiosa, unwilling to abandon her mother, stays behind. Dementus captures them both and forces Furiosa to watch as her mother is crucified. This traumatic event marks the beginning of Furiosa's transformation, as she is adopted by Dementus against her will and becomes his unwilling protege. Years pass, and Dementus's ambitions grow. He sets his sights on the Citadel, another settlement with fresh water and agriculture, ruled by the ruthless warlord Immortan Joe. Dementus's horde lays siege to the Citadel, but the War Boys, Joe's fanatical army, repels the attack. Realizing he cannot take the Citadel by force, Dementus devises a new plan. Dementus turns his attention to Gastown, an oil refinery crucial to the Citadel's gasoline supply. Using a Trojan horse strategy, he captures Gastown, thereby gaining leverage over Joe. During peace negotiations, Immortan Joe reluctantly recognizes Dementus's control over Gastown, agreeing to increase its food and water supplies in exchange for the Horde's physician and Furiosa. By this time, Furiosa has tattooed a star chart of the green place on her left arm, a map she hopes will one day lead her home. However, Furiosa's captivity in the Citadel is far from peaceful. Imprisoned with Joe's stable of wives inside a vault, Furiosa begins to plot her escape. Rictus, Joe's brutish son, takes a particular interest in Furiosa, setting the stage for a dangerous power struggle. One night, Rictus attempts to rape Furiosa, but she cleverly escapes by slipping from his grasp, using a wig made from her own hair to create a diversion. Disguising herself as a mute teenage boy, Furiosa begins a decade-long journey of infiltration, rising through the ranks of Joe's men and biding her time. Furiosa's patience pays off when she's assigned to help build the War Rig, a heavily armored supply tanker designed to withstand raider attacks in the lawless wasteland. Her plan is to escape by hiding on the rig during a supply run led by Praetorian Jack, Joe's top driver. However, before she can execute her plan, the Horde's lieutenant, the Octoboss, grows disillusioned with Dementus' cruelty and launches a rogue air assault on the War Rig. The Mortifiers, Octoboss's elite soldiers, slaughter the rig's crew and destroy Furiosa's hidden motorcycle, thwarting her escape. Forced to ally with Praetorian Jack, Furiosa helps defeat the Mortifiers, proving her worth as a warrior. Jack, recognizing her potential, offers to train her as his second-in-command in exchange for her help in rebuilding his crew. Furiosa accepts, and the two form a close bond, united by their desire to escape the wasteland and find freedom. Their opportunity comes when Joe orders an attack on Gastown, which Dementus has mismanaged into near ruin. Joe sends Furiosa and Jack to the Bullet Farm, a mining facility allied with the Citadel, to collect weapons and ammunition. However, Dementus has already taken control of the Bullet Farm and ambushes them upon arrival. In the ensuing chaos, Furiosa and Jack barely escape, but Jack is captured and tortured to death by Dementus. Furiosa, now desperate to survive, sacrifices her injured arm to escape her chains, severing it and leaving behind the star map tattooed on her skin. She stumbles back to the Citadel, battered and broken, where she teams up with Joe's aide, the People Eater, to devise a strategy against Dementus. Instead of falling into Dementus' trap, Furiosa and Joe lure him into a counter-trap at the Citadel. The ensuing conflict becomes known as the 40-Day War, a brutal campaign in which the War Boys crush the Horde. Dementus, having lost his leverage and his army, flees into the desert, pursued relentlessly by Furiosa. The film reaches its climax in a harrowing desert chase, where Furiosa finally subdues Dementus. The History Man, who serves as the film's narrator, recounts multiple versions of Dementus' death, reflecting the mythic nature of the story. Furiosa captures Dementus and brings him back to the Citadel, where she uses his still-living body as fertilizer to grow a peach tree from the pit her mother gave her. With Dementus defeated and the Citadel secure, Immortan Joe promotes Furiosa to the rank of Imperator, giving her command of a new war rig. As Furiosa assumes her new role, she encounters Joe's 5 breeder wives in the very vault where she was once held prisoner. The night before another supply run, the 5 wives hide in Furiosa's rig, setting the stage for their eventual escape, which will be seen in Mad Max: Fury Road. Mad Max: Furiosa is not just a prequel, it's a deep dive into the origins of one of the most iconic characters in the Mad Max universe. The film explores the themes of loss, vengeance, and the relentless pursuit of freedom in a world where the weak perish and the strong are forced to become ruthless. Furiosa's journey from a vulnerable child to a feared and respected warrior is both harrowing and inspiring, offering fans a rich backstory that adds new layers to her character. Through stunning visuals, intense action sequences, and a story filled with emotional depth, Mad Max: Furiosa promises to be a worthy addition to the Mad Max legacy. As we witness Furiosa's transformation, we are reminded that in the wasteland, survival often comes at the cost of humanity, but even in the darkest corners, hope can still take root. We hope you enjoyed this cinematic journey. If you want to see more content like this, let us know in the comments, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until then, see you in the next episode.